It's a sad day, and I want to dedicate this video to Nichelle Nichols, who passed away. And today we're going to talk about Uhura and her impact on more me as a fan, how I felt about Uhura, but also a little bit about the wider audience. So my first real introduction to Uhura was when I first saw my first Star Trek original series film, which is Star Trek: The Undiscovered Country. And in that film, she's very background and she's there and she has like a good charisma with Scotty and with the rest of the crew. My best scene of her in that film is when she's trying to speak Klingon through the speakers.
Ome suho. Ha ha ha.
Which kind of, it was just a really funny little scene in that film, which really showed her shine and her, like that sassy look after she, and then she just looks. It's really, really funny. Uhura meant a lot of things to a lot of people. To Whoopi Goldberg, she was the representation of African American people on TV. She was the first woman of color that Whoopi Goldberg had seen, and what led her to wanting to be on Star Trek TNG.
Not until Lieutenant Uhura do we even appear in the future.
Right.
You know, and Jen says, so you want to do Star Trek? I said, yeah, you don't understand. This was a huge part of my life. This was a huge part of my life because as a kid who loved science fiction, it wasn't until Lieutenant Uhura did I realize that I was in the future.
And you were allowed in the future?
He said, what do you mean? I said, Gene, if you look at science fiction movies that predate Star Trek, there are no people of color anywhere. He was like, I don't think I knew that. I said, well, you know now.
We see Uhura throughout the series being kind of a character who was, in the original series, she was present, but didn't have a lot of lines, a lot of repeating the computer dialogue. At the same time, very strong and very beautiful and very vibrant, which is things that Zoe Saldana and the new actress bring to it. But Nichelle Nichols sort of nailed. And I think Nichelle Nichols had the added benefit of the movies to give her, even if it's just for a little bit, a little scene. Like when she tells the crewman to get in the closet when she's helping Kirk and Co go and save Spock. Or in Star Trek V when she's casually flirting with Scotty and she hands him a pack of chips. I'm gathering it's chips or peanuts or something. We see these little bits interlaced throughout the films and throughout the series. Like in the original series, she sings. She's got a beautiful voice. In Star Trek V, she does the fan dance.
Hello, boys. I've always wanted to play to a captive audience.
Which wasn't her singing, which I found really disappointing because by the time I'd seen Star Trek V, I knew that Nichelle Nichols sung, and when I found out she didn't sing that piece, I was really, really disappointed. What did Uhura mean to me personally? She was a strong female character without being written that way. Nichelle Nichols sort of encompassed every scene she was in. In the original series, a lot of that was due to her sex appeal being those incredibly short skirts, her singing, and she just had a beautiful smile and a brightness that really lit up the episodes. And in the movies like Star Trek 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, the motion picture, she's sort of background again, but in the 2 through 6, she has these moments. She's not super integral to the plot other than in Star Trek 3, but she very much encapsulates and fills that moment with joy and fun and like a sassy strength. And I think it's very underrated. I think she's very underrated because people sort of look at the 60s-ness of the original series and go, oh, she's just a token character. But back then, she was leaping forward. I can't talk about Lieutenant Uhura without talking about Nichelle Nichols. They are very, very close to each other. I find like the two best stories of hers I've heard is the Martin Luther King Jr. story, where she talks about how she was going to leave Star Trek and Martin Luther King Jr. just said, no, you can't. You represent us in that show, and it means a lot having you there on the bridge with a position of authority. And also the story of kissing William Shatner and him wanting to make take 37 takes of that particular shot.
Television's first ever interracial kiss.
Our immediate reaction was, all right, by God, about time.
And my second reaction was, boy, are they going to hear from the Bible Belt on this one. We got our share of some really nasty letters. But here was the thing. You get one nasty letter and you get 100 really great letters. It was a step forward, I think.
It's often reported that that is the first interracial kiss within Star Trek or within American TV. I don't think that's actually true, but I think it's the most recognized kiss from interracial kiss on the first series. She was a trailblazer. She also helped to recruit people, women and people of color into NASA. She developed programs to train them and to grow different minorities and groups within the NASA community and business.
Hi, I'm Nichelle Nichols, but I still feel a little bit like Lieutenant Uhura on the Starship Enterprise. You know, now there's a 20th century Enterprise, an actual space vehicle built by NASA and designed to put us in the business of space, not merely space exploration. Now, NASA's Enterprise is a space shuttle built to make regularly scheduled runs into space and back, just like a commercial airline.
She recruited the first female astronaut and also the first African-American female astronaut.
I'm Nichelle Nichols, and I played Lieutenant Uhura in Star Trek.
I was very much a Star Trek fan, and I like to say that I watched in the 60s when it first came on, so I go way back. And I thought the show was very wonderful because it was one of the first programs that had everybody, all kinds of ethnic groups together from the United States. We also had a program where it put women in non-traditional roles. So Lieutenant Uhura was maybe the first woman that you saw every day or every week on television who worked in a technical field. And so that was very exciting. And also, she was African, which was a very different kind of feel from television back then. So I was very much liked Lieutenant Uhura, and she was a very wonderful person for me.
Nichelle Nichols' life was just as prominent as Uhura's life. When we look at Zoe Saldana and Gooding, what we get is people who... Zoe Saldana got to meet Nichelle Nichols, and Gooding, I believe, got to meet her as well. And Zoe Saldana took that, I think, the sassiness of Nichelle Nichols' portrayal of Uhura and really made that sort of part of it. The strength, she took the strength of that role. And very much Gooding took the innocence and the playfulness and the curiosity of Uhura. And it's really funny because both of these actors within this role very much took that from Nichelle Nichols and the Uhura that came before. Uhura's role has been gradually increasing. She's loved by fans. She's loved by the other actors. She's never caused any ripples in the pond. She's an amazing actress, and I don't think I've seen her in anything else. I've seen her in obviously the Star Trek fan films, and it's really amazing to see a woman of such strength just embrace the Star Trek universe, but embrace her role within NASA to recruit people of color and females, and female sounds like an alien. I'm an alien. Recruiting women. She's just done some amazing things, and I recommend reading up on it. I watched A Drunk History, which I saw today, and there's just been this outpouring of support and love for her today on TikTok, on Instagram, on Twitter. People talking about their favorite moments, people posting videos of her talking about her favorite moments. and the warmth and strength behind her smile. It's a really sad day for the Star Trek family, but I think Uhura, as well as Nichelle Nichols, brought a lot of strength to it. And I can only hope that anyone who fills her shoes or anyone who wants to be like Nichelle Nichols will constantly learn from her. I know that Star Trek wouldn't be the same without Nichelle Nichols. I know Star Trek wouldn't be the same without Uhura. I know that sometimes there's firsts in this world, and Nichelle Nichols and Uhura were truly the first of their kind within science fiction and on mainstream television.